now producing their own gold bars thanks to President Ibrahim Traoré. The gold bars in the video are the first since the country assumed control of their gold mines.
What if I told you one of the poorest nations in the world just struck gold, literally? Burkina Faso, long overlooked by global power players, has stunned the world by announcing a jaw-dropping $18 billion in gold revenue since Captain Ibrahim Traoré took power.
Prices have gone up 27% in 2025 alone, and we are just halfway through this year. We could see the price of gold hit $120,000 per kilo by the end of this year, and Captain Traoré is taking full advantage of it. Ladies and gentlemen, the nation of Burkina Faso has completed a sweep of mining companies they targeted from August of last year. They have taken over 5 mining companies since June 12th of this year. 2 of those 5 were operational and 3 held an exploration license. The 2 are Wagnion Gold SA and Samafo Bongo SA. Each held 90% of ownership of the mines, whereas Burkina Faso held just 10% ownership in each of the mines. Today, Burkina Faso owns 100% of both mines. The 3 exploration companies have their licenses cancelled and taken over by the state of Burkina Faso. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Burkina Faso.
That's not just a win, it's a revolution in wealth creation. While Western analysts scratch their heads, Burkina miners are rewriting history from the ground up. This isn't a fluke. It's strategy, sovereignty, and a new era of leadership that's flipping the narrative. So, what exactly changed under Traoré? And how is this gold rush powering a bold new future for Burkina Faso? Stay tuned, because this story is deeper than the mines themselves. The golden turnaround, Burkina Faso's meteoric rise in gold earnings. Since Ibrahim Traoré took the reins of leadership, Burkina Faso's gold sector has experienced a dramatic and unprecedented transformation, raking in an astonishing $18 billion in revenue. This figure isn't just economic data, it's proof of a national resurgence fueled by bold reforms and focused governance. Traoré's administration wasted no time overhauling outdated policies, streamlining mining operations, and rooting out illegal extraction networks that once drained the country's resources. Under his watch, the government has empowered local miners, modernized infrastructure, and actively courted responsible foreign investors, not for exploitation, but for equitable partnerships. Transparency and accountability, long missing from previous regimes, are now at the core of Burkina Faso's mining strategy. Revenues from gold are no longer lost in bureaucratic black holes, but redirected toward development, education, and security. This boom has not only revitalized the national economy, but also elevated Burkina Faso's position on the global mineral map. While critics doubted his youth and experience, Traoré has proven that visionary leadership can unlock a nation's true potential, turning gold dust into a foundation for lasting prosperity.
This brother right here is looking more and more handsome by the day. Okay. Shout out to Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. These are the results of their first gold production. This is their first few hundred kilograms of gold that they have produced since Ibrahim Traoré came into power and took over his mining sectors and started controlling his resources, and has kicked several European mining companies out of the country that have not been benefiting the country. He is truly leading by example and is a rebirth of Thomas Sankara, who was all about utilizing the wealth of the land to benefit the people and the economy, and not, accepting imperialists into the country to exploit the resources. So since Ibrahim Traoré, being the youngest president in Africa at the age of 36, has invested in several key sectors like mining, like agriculture, like real estate. We're gonna see some major projects coming from him, and they have been really trying to take this brother out. He has over 20 assassination attempts. May the ancestors continue to protect him, because he's truly a force to be reckoned with. I mean, if other African leaders took note and adopted this type of leadership, whew, Africa would be a force to be reckoned with.
The $18 billion isn't just a financial milestone. It symbolizes renewed hope for millions of Burkina citizens who've long yearned for meaningful economic opportunity. This gold-driven boom has sparked widespread job creation, revitalized rural communities, and reinforced the country's fiscal independence. For a nation once plagued by poverty and instability, the windfall is fueling roads, schools, and local enterprise. Under Traoré's sharp leadership, Burkina Faso is proving that resource wealth, when harnessed responsibly, can become a powerful engine for transformation. As the world takes notice, the country is stepping out of hardship's shadow and into the spotlight as a model for self-determined progress. Strategic policy reforms, the backbone of Burkina Faso's gold surge. Behind Burkina Faso's $18 billion gold windfall is a masterclass in strategic governance led by Captain Ibrahim Traoré. Far from being a stroke of luck, this economic leap is rooted in deliberate visionary policy reforms that restructured the very core of the mining sector. Traoré's administration inherited a system riddled with inefficiencies, exploitation, and corruption. Rather than patchwork fixes, they launched a sweeping overhaul, streamlining licensing procedures, slashing bureaucratic red tape, and establishing clear, enforceable environmental and labor standards. A cornerstone of these reforms was the formal integration of artisanal miners, who had long operated in the shadows. The government extended training programs, financing options, and cooperative models that empowered these miners to boost production while operating legally and safely. By doing so, Traoré not only amplified local participation, but also choked off illicit mining networks that had previously siphoned off national wealth into the black market. This bold restructuring disrupted entrenched interests and ushered in a new era of accountability and shared prosperity. Revenues that once vanished through corruption are now traceable and reinvested into critical public services like healthcare, education, and rural infrastructure. The shift also sent a powerful signal to global markets. Burkina Faso is open for business, but on its own terms. By anchoring growth in transparency, local empowerment, and long-term vision, Traoré has repositioned Burkina Faso as one of Africa's most promising gold producers. The reforms have not only unlocked economic potential, but also sparked a larger transformation in how the country governs, develops, and defines its future.
In less than 1 year, Captain Ibrahim Traoré has achieved his mission of taking back the mines which had signed ridiculous agreements with previous government of Burkina Faso. The message he's sending now is super clear. We can do it ourselves, and therefore it is no more business as usual. Ladies and gentlemen, did you know that because of this action taken by Traoré, in the first quarter of 2025 alone, the Burkina Faso government collected 11 tons of gold? 2024 was 8 tons, and this year first quarter is 11 tons. 11 tons of gold is nearly $1.1 billion with current prices. I used to work in the mines, and so I want to take this opportunity to share these secrets with you, ladies and gentlemen. The foreign companies that operate mines in Africa are never honest with their production. I'll be honest with you. They've never declared the true recoveries of the product. There is a figure which is only disclosed to the investors, and there is this other figure that is accounted for to the state in which they operate. Talking about African countries, most times the capital requirements they are supposed to meet in order to be given permits are not met. They come in pretending to have the capital ready for operations, but in actual fact they get so much of the capital from the very land in Africa from which they get the fund in order to start mining. They come in as an exploration company, and before you know it,
economic impact. Gold as the engine driving Burkina Faso's growth. The $18 billion generated from gold under Ibrahim Traoré's leadership is far more than a headline-making sum. It's the driving force behind Burkina Faso's economic renaissance. This remarkable revenue surge has empowered the government with unprecedented financial leverage, allowing for bold investments in critical infrastructure. Roads are being paved, schools are being constructed, and hospitals are being equipped. Initiatives that directly uplift communities and bridge development gaps. These upgrades are not symbolic. They've tangibly improved living standards, lowered poverty rates, and broadened access to essential services across both urban and rural areas. Gold has also become the cornerstone of Burkina Faso's export economy, injecting vital foreign exchange that strengthens the national currency and boosts the central bank's reserves. This financial buffer has made the country more resilient to external economic shocks, such as fluctuating commodity prices or regional instability. The ripple effects have been substantial. A surge in gold exports has fueled the growth of auxiliary industries, transportation, logistics, construction, and retail, creating thousands of jobs and opening new doors for entrepreneurs. Crucially, Traoré's administration hasn't hoarded the benefits. Instead, it has reinvested mining revenues into social development programs, particularly targeting youth employment and rural empowerment. This inclusive approach ensures that economic growth isn't just concentrated in elite circles but felt throughout the nation. By using its gold wealth strategically and equitably, Burkina Faso is steadily moving away from reliance on foreign aid and unstable agricultural output. Traoré's model proves that natural resources, when managed wisely, can power a sustainable and sovereign future. Social transformation: how gold revenues are changing lives. Gold is not just changing Burkina Faso's economy, it's transforming its social fabric under Ibrahim Traoré's governance. The $18 billion earned from gold extraction is funding expansive social programs that improve healthcare access, education quality, and community development. Traoré has prioritized directing mining wealth towards empowering marginalized groups, especially women and youth, through skills training and entrepreneurship initiatives. This approach helps combat long-standing issues like unemployment and rural poverty, which had previously driven instability. The government's commitment to transparency ensures that communities in mining regions receive fair shares of royalties and infrastructure improvements, addressing grievances that fueled conflict in the past. Schools built with gold revenues offer new hope to children who once faced poor educational conditions, while new clinics improve health outcomes in remote areas. Traoré's leadership has also promoted social cohesion by encouraging inclusive dialogue between mining companies, local authorities, and civil society. By aligning economic gains with social justice, Burkina Faso is building a foundation for long-term peace and stability. The gold boom is proving that responsible resource management can uplift entire populations, not just elites, a powerful message for other resource-rich nations.
Let's take a closer look at the deal itself. The project is called the Nayu Gold Project. It's located in Burkina Faso's Plateau Central region, specifically in Hourigo province. It covers about 52.8 square kilometers, a significant site for industrial gold mining. Now, the rights to develop the project have been awarded to Nordgold, a Russian-owned mining giant that already operates in Burkina Faso and across West Africa. Nordgold, through its local subsidiary Jibe Burkina, holds 85% of the project. The Burkinabe government retains 15% ownership. The project is expected to generate about $51.5 billion francs, roughly 89 million US dollars, for the state budget over the life of the mine. And additionally, about $7 billion francs will be paid into the state's
Regional influence: Burkina Faso's new role in West Africa's gold market. Burkina Faso's $18 billion gold breakthrough under Captain Ibrahim Traoré has redefined the nation's role in West Africa's mineral economy. No longer overshadowed by regional giants like Ghana and Mali, Burkina Faso has emerged as a formidable force, matching its neighbors in both gold quality and production volume. This shift has disrupted long-standing regional dynamics, placing Burkina Faso in a stronger position to negotiate trade deals and assert itself in economic forums. With increased clout, the country now advocates for fairer trade terms, enhanced protections for resource-rich economies, and greater transparency across the sector. Traoré's administration has also taken a regional leadership role in tackling cross-border challenges. Through new alliances with neighboring governments, Burkina Faso is actively cracking down on illegal mining and smuggling, twin threats that once drained national wealth and undermined legitimate enterprise. These joint efforts not only protect precious resources, but also promote regional cooperation and stability. The ripple effect of Burkina Faso's gold success is undeniable. Neighboring nations are beginning to explore similar reform paths, inspired by Traoré's bold, results-driven approach. This could mark the beginning of a regional renaissance in responsible, community-centered mining. Beyond raw extraction, Burkina Faso is attracting increased interest from foreign investors, particularly those seeking partnerships in value-added industries such as refining, logistics, and mining tech. In Traoré's vision, gold is a launchpad, not a finish line. Burkina Faso is positioning itself as a regional economic and governance leader, proving that strategic resource management can elevate not just a country, but an entire region's standing on the global stage. Security and stability, how gold wealth supports national resilience. In a region where insecurity and insurgency threaten to derail development, Burkina Faso's $18 billion gold revenue under Captain Ibrahim Traoré has become a lifeline for national resilience. Rather than letting this wealth sit in reserves or slip through corrupt channels, the administration has strategically channeled it into fortifying the nation's security architecture. Significant investments have been made in modernizing the military, enhancing intelligence capabilities, and expanding community-based policing, efforts that have helped reclaim and stabilize regions once gripped by violence. But Traoré's strategy isn't just about firepower. He recognizes that enduring peace comes from tackling the socio-economic roots of instability. By creating jobs, particularly in gold-producing areas, and funding youth employment programs, the government has provided alternatives to extremism, poverty, marginalization, and hopelessness, long exploited by insurgent recruiters, are being replaced with opportunity and dignity. This approach strikes at the core of radicalization. The gold-fueled infrastructure boom, better roads, communication lines, and public services has extended the government's presence into remote areas, making it harder for insurgents to gain a foothold. It also signals to citizens that the state is not just reactive, but invested in their future. Equally critical is the transparency surrounding gold revenue management. By showing citizens where the money goes, the government is building trust, essential in a country rebuilding from years of disillusionment. This renewed social contract strengthens the national fabric and makes it harder for extremist ideologies to take root. Traoré's integrated approach, security through development, empowerment, and transparency, is a model of how resource wealth can be transformed into a stabilizing force in even the most volatile regions. Environmental stewardship, sustainable mining under Traoré's watch. Ibrahim Traoré's administration has made it clear that Burkina Faso's gold boom must not come at the expense of its environment or the well-being of future generations. Recognizing the long-term risks of unchecked mining, the government has enacted robust environmental regulations aimed at curbing the ecological damage historically associated with gold extraction. Mining companies are now held to higher standards, required to implement responsible waste management, conserve water resources, and rehabilitate mined land to restore ecosystems post-extraction. Traoré's government has fostered unprecedented collaboration between miners, state agencies, and environmental watchdogs to ensure compliance and transparency. These partnerships enable real-time monitoring of environmental impacts and community health, ensuring that gold extraction is balanced with ecological preservation. A major achievement has been the formalization of artisanal mining. By incorporating small-scale miners into the legal framework, the administration has significantly reduced the use of hazardous substances like mercury, improving worker safety and public health. Beyond mining reforms, the government is investing in alternative livelihoods such as sustainable agriculture, aquaculture, and ecotourism in gold-impacted regions. This diversification provides long-term stability and reduces dependence on a single resource. By embedding environmental stewardship into its gold strategy, Burkina Faso is not only protecting its natural assets, but also enhancing its appeal to responsible investors. Under Traoré, the country is positioning itself as a model for sustainable resource management in Africa, a place where economic growth and environmental integrity go hand in hand. The future of Burkina Faso's gold economy. Looking ahead, Burkina Faso's gold sector under Ibrahim Traoré faces exciting opportunities and challenges as it seeks to sustain and build on the $18 billion success story. The government's clear vision is to expand value addition through domestic refining and jewelry manufacturing, moving beyond raw exports to capture more economic benefits locally. Investments in mining technology and human capital development aim to increase productivity and innovation. Traoré's administration also plans to deepen community engagement and ensure equitable wealth distribution to prevent social tensions. However, challenges remain, including fluctuating global gold prices, regional security risks, and the need to balance rapid growth with environmental protection. The government's continued commitment to good governance and transparency will be crucial in navigating these hurdles. As Burkina Faso matures into a top-tier gold producer, it sets a powerful example of how natural resources, when managed with vision and integrity, can transform a nation's destiny. With Traoré at the helm, Burkina Faso's gold economy is poised not only to sustain economic growth, but to drive a broader social and political renaissance that will resonate across Africa for years to come. $18 billion. That's not just a number, it's a statement. A nation once exploited for its resources is finally keeping the profits on its own soil. Under Ibrahim Traoré, Burkina Faso isn't just digging for gold. It's digging its way out of poverty, dependence, and decades of foreign domination. And while critics question his methods, the results speak louder than the headlines. Schools, roads, hospitals, they're not promises anymore. They're happening. The world better pay attention because Burkina Faso is no longer begging for aid. It's banking on itself. If this gold surge continues, it won't just change a country, it could inspire a continent. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories the mainstream won't show you.